when the NFL added the 7th playoff spot in each conference, and then more recently when they added the 17th game, I think that there was a lot of positivity, but there were definitely detractors who were saying, number one, you're watering it down. You're adding too many people here. The games aren't going to mean as much. And then the season's too long. People are going to be, completely out of it, and they're just going to be playing out the string. We're going in, starting tonight with the Jaguars and Jets, with 27 of 32 teams mathematically alive. And the fact that you have the Steelers and Raiders, again, who've had frustrating seasons, to say the least, this is a relevant game. I was saying in the last segment, these are final destination games. You got a bunch of them this weekend. Tonight's game is one. Your game on Saturday is one where the team that wins is going to feel like, hey, we got a shot at this thing. The other team is out, and that is a beautiful thing for the NFL at a time where it's almost Christmas here on the calendar.
Yeah, I agree with you, obviously, but two things come to mind. One is, let's see how the 7 seeds who eventually make it fair. Okay, let's see how they perform, because the 7 seeds so far really haven't acquitted themselves very well. So, which 7 seed is going to make it and pop a 2 seed off? One and done, a team that just missed the bye week because they're that good. So we'll see how that goes when it arrives. This year we've been talking to the Patriots, and the Jets have the proper firepower. Obviously, a 7-seeded Dolphins team would be particularly dangerous, I think. Tyreek Hill strolling into 2nd-seeded Kansas City would be something that I think would be thrown on the table to support what you just said, your soliloquy, that the 7th seed is not watering anything down. As a matter of fact, it is putting a team in the playoffs that is dangerous and can go from the 7th seed to win it all. In the same way, the Steelers in this building have got one of those trophies I just mentioned. They were a 6th seed one year and won it all. The Giants did something similar to that. So we'll see. Yeah, we'll see if a 7th seed can do it. And then the other thing is, if we are seeing teams stay in the running this late, okay, maybe pushing the trade deadline back a little bit, so you could see how many teams who have a shot to go would be more willing to trade somebody, and then those who potentially are already out of it. I mean, the Bears already coughed up, as you know, Roquan Smith in the middle of the season. How many more teams would be willing to make that acquisition or make a trade like that? If they know they're going to be one of the 5 teams, or feel like they're going to be one of the 6 teams that hits Christmas weekend that's out of it. Just throwing that out there. But it is something that I think is great. We are talking about tonight's game being more important because the 7th seed exists. Saturday night's game, obviously Green Bay. First Christmas Day game. If there wasn't a 7th seed, I would think that game would be far less relevant for Green Bay than it obviously will be. Just these are all 4 examples, and I'm loving it. I'm here for it.
The trade deadline debate is going to be a fascinating one, Rich, because at the winter meetings last week, the NFL General Manager Advisory Committee had this discussion. It's something that some teams have brought up. From my understanding, there is a level of support. It's going to be gathering momentum among the clubs to push it back. It's not going to be pushed back a month. It's a week, maybe 2. It sounds like 1 week has the most support as of now. But the competition committee has not yet weighed in. You brought up the Bears example. The concern is the deeper you push it back, it's not about more teams becoming buyers. It's about more teams becoming sellers. Now you have the teams are out dumping players to contenders, more teams doing what the Bears did, which then impacts the competitive balance. On the flip side of that, just from a person who covers it standpoint, besides the fact that the trade deadline is extraordinarily stressful for me, it's fun. Everyone likes more trades. Everybody enjoys this. It's a good thing, but there's going to be a balance here. This is going to be an interesting likely vote either in March or May. You need 24 or 32 owners to sign off on it. I'll be fascinated to see how much support it really has.
I just don't know if this league is just tank proof. To be honest with you, Tom. I mean, look at the Texans. Look at the Texans last 2 weeks. Pushed TJ's Cowboys to the brink, took the Chiefs to overtime, and then stopped the Chiefs in overtime, and they got one win. And, two quarterbacks playing. I mean, you take a look at the Lions, who traded TJ Hawkinson within division, and Brock Wright is the one who scores the big touchdown. I just don't know how, the Bears almost knocked off the Eagles, and they're the ones who coughed up Roquan Smith. So I don't know, man. I mean, I don't know how many teams are really out there because of the pridefulness of the men who play it. I know they did eventually lose the game, but if this team's tanking, then you should be beating them by 20, 25, right? 30.
True.
Wow. I mean, it's not good for business.
In the NBA, whereas in the NBA, you take a look at a team like the Warriors, who are still load managing Klay Thompson a year and a half later. Last night on a back-to-back, they give up 90 in the first half. I'm not saying they're tanking, but when you take out star players, it does mean a significant difference in a single night in the NBA, but in the NFL, it doesn't.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.